Brent Welder is running in Kansas' 3rd district. He's a very progressive Democrat. He's a Justice Democrat, in fact, uncorrupted, not going to take big corporate PAC money. Well, you think, well, Kansas, he's likely to lose, isn't it? Wrong. Brent joins us now. He is, in my opinion, the favorite in the race, and there's good factual reason for that. It's one of only 5 Republican-held congressional districts in the country that was won by Bernie Sanders in the primary and Hillary Clinton in the general election. Brent, welcome to the Young Turks. I mean, Rebel Headquarters / TYT Network.
Hey, thank you so much. And thank you to the TYT Army for everything that everyone's been doing for a decade now. It's so important that we fight back against these giant corporations. You guys, your show was one of the very first to start doing this. I've seen throughout my career as a grassroots organizer how hard it is to get started and get that momentum going, but the momentum is going strong and the people are really ready for change, real change that's going to fight back against these giant corporations. And I'm so excited to be here with you tonight.
So, Brent, people tell me that you were one of the first Young Turks members. But I've never actually talked to you. So I wanted to talk to you and get it straight from you. So when did you start watching the show and when did you become a member?
I started watching 10 years ago. You've never talked to me, but you have one time talked about me because you were reading off on every show a few of the first members. And I remember being really excited several years ago when you got to my name, and my little daughter, who's now 4, was really excited too that I was being talked about on TV. But I've been watching for 10 years, an active viewer, but also more importantly, getting out there with causes like Wolfpack, where I was really active working with Mike Mineta and a great team there to get our constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. When I was on the Democratic National Platform Committee last year, nominated by Bernie Sanders, I actually was the one who drafted and fought for an amendment in the Democratic National Party platform to say that we need to get corporate money out of politics. That was inspired by you. It was inspired by the TYT Nation, and it was inspired by Wolfpack. Continued as a grassroots organizer, ended up going to law school to take on the giant corporations directly. And now I'm ready to take that fight to Washington with the help of TYT Army. And, we're running a grassroots campaign here. It's extremely important. We're trying to raise $50,000 from the TYT Army to fully fund our field program. We're going to have precinct captains for every precinct. We're going to have volunteers, thousands of them across the district, and we need the funds to do it. So people can go to brentwelder.com/TYT. Help us with that effort. We're already 10% of the way there. And we're running the biggest grassroots campaign of any congressional district in the country. I've been an organizer for many years. I've been part of some of the biggest grassroots organizations, and that's what we're doing here in this congressional race.
Well, so a couple of things about that. First, they put up the links there, and we'll put the links down below in the description box and in the comment section on Facebook as well. Brent's the only one with brentwelder.com/TYT in the donation, which I love. So go use that one. We'll put that at the top. And look, Brent, of course I love your story. It would be great if a Young Turks viewer and Wolfpack volunteer became a US congressman. That's just amazing. And your energy and your enthusiasm is obvious. So you're almost the prototypical strong progressive candidate. So, and in such a winnable district with such a bad incumbent. So just for a second, let's talk about the incumbent, then I want to talk about hot dogs and Teamsters.
Sounds great.
So tell us about Kevin Yoder. What's so wrong with him?
Kevin Yoder is so extreme. He votes with Donald Trump 97% of the time, but the only reason it's not actually a higher percentage is because he's taken some votes more extreme than Donald Trump, which actually lowered his Trump percentage a little bit. He voted, of course, for this tax bill. He voted several times to repeal Obamacare. He is an immoral, unethical lemming of Donald Trump. He takes his orders directly from the Koch brothers here in Kansas, directly from Wall Street, and is just way too extreme to be representing anyone, let alone this district that was won by Bernie Sanders in the primary and Hillary Clinton in the general. And probably one of the sickest things, one of the most immoral things that he does, he has taken more money than any member of Congress from the loan sharks, the payday loan industry. He's taken $250,000 from them. That's who he answers to. He takes his orders from the Koch brothers, from the loan sharks, from the worst people in this country, but the people are fighting back. As I've said, Bernie Sanders won the district. Hillary Clinton won the district. We have hundreds of volunteers. We need to fund this field program. I hope people will go to brentwelder.com/TYT. It's been amazing. I've been getting small dollar contributions for now a month and a half, ever since I was endorsed by Justice Democrats. And it really warms my heart seeing, I see a donation come in from a farmer in Kansas, from a bus driver in New York, $27, from a construction worker in Montana, one after another, and it has added up, and it's really helping us win this race. I think a lot of people do consider us the front runners, but we're working hard for every single vote. And the way to do it is to run a strong grassroots campaign and also have the funding to be able to do that and run our strong campaign.
Yeah, Brent has raised, I saw the numbers, almost as much as Yoder raised from the payday loan industry, but all small donors. And so, and think about that, all the small donors, hundreds, thousands of people that gave money to Brent versus just a couple of corporate executives at payday lenders that give to Yoder. And so that's the difference between people power and working for corporate donors. So I promised people Teamsters and hot dogs. So you didn't just organize for Wolfpack, you organized over 1 million people for the Teamsters. So tell us about that. What was that about?
That's right. Well, before I went to law school, I was the national field director and national campaigns coordinator for the Teamsters Union. We had 1.3 million workers across the country that I was organizing. And when I first got on the job, this was back when Barack Obama was running for president for the first time, we polled our membership, and John McCain was beating Barack Obama among our members. But we got to work with a grassroots campaign. I hired 750 Teamsters off of their normal day job, and we sent them into every targeted workplace in America to talk to their fellow workers about raising wages, about healthcare for all, about fighting back against the giant corporations, bread and butter economic issues. And come a week before the election, we repolled our members, and Obama was beating McCain 75-25 among our members. These are blue collar workers. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them last election voted for Donald Trump because they believed him that he was a populist, that he was going to fight for workers. But people are really starting to see that that's not the case. The people in our district are sick and tired of Donald Trump. They're sick and tired of Kevin Yoder voting with Donald Trump every time. After I went to law school, I became a labor lawyer representing union workers, representing working people. My wife is also a union side labor lawyer, Christy. Just a beautiful, amazing, intelligent woman that is just at my side every step of the way. And the people of Kansas's 3rd district are ready for someone that is willing to speak truth to power, take on the giant corporations, just like I've been doing in the courtroom, just like I've been doing as a grassroots organizer. And now I'm taking this to Washington, and we're going to get them. And I can do it with the help of the TYT Army. brentwelder.com/TYT. Let's get this field program funded because we're going to run the biggest field program of any congressional race in America. And I have actually done that before. I worked with Patrick Murphy, who was the first Iraq war veteran elected to Congress. It was a 60% registered Republican district. He was running against a Republican incumbent. We put together the biggest grassroots organization of any congressional district in the country. We had 2,500 people knocking doors on election day, and we won the election by 2,500 votes, 1 vote per volunteer. We're going to do it again.
Brent, let me tell you something. You're going to Congress.
Hey,
and
thank you.
I'm not kidding. So I started the year on the Young Turks by saying, I don't know what's going to happen in 2018. It's going to be a wild ride. I now know one thing. You're looking at the next congressman from Kansas' 3rd district. Because that energy, that enthusiasm, that ability to organize people and to get grassroots voters out there. I've seen it 1,000 times. It works every time, so you're gonna win. So let's end on a fun note. Look, on the policy, I know you're right. End the corruption, money out of politics, $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, college for all. I've seen your records. But in your bio, as I was looking through all that, I did see one other thing. That when you were a kid, you guys grew up eating hot dogs. So,
well, it was. I mean, we didn't have a lot of means when I was a kid, and I grew up in a rural area. There's a lot of rural poverty out there that kind of gets forgotten sometimes. And frankly, I mean, everyone in poverty in this country seems to be getting forgotten. And yes, when I was young, we had hot dogs for essentially every meal because that's all we could afford. And there's too many people in this country that are struggling like this right now. But we're coming to help them. We're going to fix it. People are ready. They're fired up. They understand what's going on. With your guys' help, we are going to get this done. My campaign's been endorsed by Justice Democrats, Our Revolution Kansas City, Dr. Cornel West, Patrick Murphy, Jason Kander, a national voting rights leader, and my wife's personal favorite. On New Year's Eve, just the other day, actress Shailene Woodley actually tweeted out support for me, who is an amazing progressive activist as well, was really involved in DAPL. But the most important endorsement is the TYT Army, is progressives across the country. Please go to brentwelder.com/TYT. We can do this together. We are going to go to Congress. We're going to win this race. People are ready for it. We're going to go there and we're going to speak truth to power just like we're doing here today, and we're going to get it done.
Brent also knows how to push a message. I love it. And I'm right there with you, brother. I remember the days when I had 4 staples of food: hot dogs, cereal, mac and cheese, and Hot Pockets. But from there to the Congress, that's where Brent Welder's going. Go help him, especially if you're in his district. Make sure that you volunteer and you're part of that grassroots army. Brent, thank you so much for joining us at Rebel Headquarters. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're all in this together, and the people are so powerful, and we're gonna get it done. BrentWelder.com/TYT. Thank you, Cenk, for everything you're doing, and hopefully I get to talk to you again soon.